This man right here then unalived his wife because he caught her cheating with the goddamn maintenance man. Now look, she was 24 years old and this nigga was like 51 years old. You should have knew what was coming when you married her, bro. She was 24, you was 51. Y'all done lived from two different decades, nigga. Do your homework.
Estranged wife here in Jackson, and then barricaded himself in an apartment complex leasing office, now faces a murder charge. 52.
The bloodstains are still on the mat at the front entrance door of the leasing office. The shooting happened.
He had blood on his clothing. We assumed that came from the victim because she was definitely, there was a lot of bloodshed.
This usually quiet complex now finding itself at the center of a crime scene.
Currently married, but my understanding is she was trying to move on. And apparently, again, somebody who do not know how to deal with emotions. And now this family has been, destroyed. Continuously called him as he continued to hang up as they called him. But he eventually told them that he was going to come out. And that's exactly what he did.
Actions.
I've been doing this a long time, but it never gets easy. This lady came to work today. She never thought she'd lose her life at the hands of her husband at work today.
It seemed like it might be a new trend going on with the old dating the young and the young dating the old.
Yeah.
But when it comes to love, how young is too young? That's the question that had residents from Jacksonville, Mississippi on social media in a frenzy. When a man in his early 50s dated this 24-year-old and ended up taking her life just 5 months after they got married. On the surface, it looked like a modern-day love story, one that defied the odds and silenced the critics. But behind the wedding photos and viral videos was just a ticking time bomb waiting to explode. Now, I wanted to bring this to you guys' attention because every day, one of us find falling in love, it seemed like. And this story about love, control, and obsession that could possibly become a dangerous mix. A relationship that started with promise of forever, ended with headlines that shocked the entire community. Family and friends saw the warning signs. Which brings us to a discussion I want to bring up at the very beginning of this video. As I mentioned, how old is too young when considered to be legal? Not just for the obvious reasons of the age, but similar interests, other than things that can give us pleasure for the moment. This isn't just a story about the age gap relationship. How a person dark past, masked by charm and charisma, can spiral into violence when the spotlight fades. And at the end, someone's life was stolen in cold blood, all because they loved the wrong person. That's up there in age. Look good, seem to have their head on their shoulders from the outside looking in, but can't seem to have a relationship, or at least keep one. Why you think that's so? But before we go over this one, I want you guys to remember, I'm gonna give you Sharp. For those who don't know, Shannon Sharpe is 56 years old, a Hall of Fame NFL player and a media giant who was working with ESPN, but somehow still found himself caught up in a relationship with a much younger woman. Allegedly, this young woman was in her early 20s and met Shannon Sharpe in the gym. And before long, things escalated into what people are calling a situationship that went sideways. Now, even though Shannon Sharpe wasn't married, reports say he was allegedly scammed out of nearly $24 million after settling a lawsuit with this young woman. And if that wasn't enough, just days after reports of that settlement surfaced, Shannon was quietly fired from ESPN. On top of that, he got hit with another $20 million lawsuit from a different woman who claimed Shannon used her personal life as content on his show, saying she divorced her husband over some alleged interactions with Usher. And all this drama came to light during what should have been a proud moment for Shannon's family, and which it still is. His older brother Sterling Sharpe Hall of Fame introduction. In the midst of all this, Shannon had to answer questions about the lawsuit, age gap relationship, and messy personal choices. This is what he chose to say.
With a lawsuit, and about 2 weeks ago he settled that lawsuit and has since been fired. But here's what he had to say about it.
I'm sure everybody's heard the news by now that I will not be returning to ESPN. I found out this information a little earlier in the week, and really the only thing that I really ask is, like, guys, could we wait until Monday? My brother's going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I really wanted to be about him, and I wanted to be about my family. I know this coming out will overshadow everything that he's worked his entire life for. And unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. And so as I told him, as I profusely apologized to him earlier today, he said, bro, stop apologizing. You don't have to apologize. I'm your big bro. I'm going to love you regardless. We all make mistakes. And he says, bro, I love you. So I'm done with this. You're done with it too. Move on. And I really enjoyed my time at ESPN. It gave me an opportunity to bring my audience that saw me really just grow. They saw me, Lakers in 5, and they saw me say all these analogies that my grandparents gave me, and I was able to bring that to ESPN. So I'm very, very grateful.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro. ESPN kind of effing up though, bro. First they done took Shaq and the other team off ESPN. They ain't firing, but they took him off. Now Shannon Sharp off too. And ESPN finna be so boring now. I ain't gonna lie. ESPN finna be so boring. Like nobody really finna be on that no more.
Grateful for that, but I just wished, of all things, like I said, hey, they did what they felt they needed to do, and I'm at peace with that. But I just wish, guys, this thing could have waited until Monday, because I hate the fact that I'm overshadowing my brother, the first 2 brothers in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and this is what the headline's going to be for the next couple of days. So, bro, again, I know you told me this, I don't have to apologize, but I'm going to do it one final time tonight, and I won't apologize again. I'm sorry that I upstaged you in this manner. That was never my intent. You've been my hero. You've been my role model from as long as I can remember. Me, when I was at ESPN and every place that I've been, be it Club Shay Shay, Nightcap, Undisputed, ESPN. Thank you guys for your.
So now we got that out the way, fam. That's just one example on how these older, younger dynamics can get real messy real quick. Fam, meet Ron Christopher Allen, 52 years old, from Jackson, Mississippi. In the beginning of the year, he got married to 24-year-old Malia Bess. She was a leasing manager at an apartment complex at the Westwood Apartments in Jackson, Mississippi. Together, the couple rented out homes as one of their main source of incomes. On July 31st, 2025, at around noon at the Westwood Apartments, Ron Allen showed up to discover his wife having a boyfriend who was the alleged maintenance worker. Before shooting his wife 7 times, Malia had died on the scene. May she rest in peace. Our loving condolences to her family. Officers arrived at the Robinson Street Apartments and found the alleged shooter with blood on his shirt. That's when the suspect barricaded himself inside the apartment's leasing office and fired additional shots. Jackson Police Joseph Wade say the woman was likely already dead before the man barricaded himself in the building. However, officers were unable to determine her condition while the scene was still active. But eventually Allen was arrested. The next day he would have his bond hearing. On that day it was discovered during court that a witness had called Beth's phone during the incident. They said that Allen answered and confirmed she was dead. At the conclusion, it was later determined that the judge who gave him no bond had once gave him a repayment plan for a DUI.
Estranged wife here in Jackson, and then barricaded himself in an apartment complex leasing office, now faces a murder charge. 52-year-old Ron Christopher Allen is accused of killing 24-year-old Malia Bess. A deadly shooting happened at the Westwood Apartments on Robinson Street. Greener Side's Quentin Smith has followed this story for you all day, and he tells us what investigators say.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Y'all gotta stop dating these older. Y'all gotta stop doing this older, younger duo. See, like, let me give you an example. Like, 22, 26, cool, right? 38, 33, cool, right? 48, 40, cool, right? 51 and 24, that's not cool, bro. Them niggas done lived in 2 decades, bro. That's not cool, my nigga. That's not cool at all. Y'all niggas done lived in 2 decades, bro. 2 different decades. Hell no. And for the wife, bro, if you got married, bro, she was already cheating prior. We already know what she was there for. We already know she was cheating prior. We already know what she did the 51-year-old man for. She just wanted the nigga money. She just wanted the money. That's all he was probably good for.
Led up to that deadly
That's how he knows
shooting.
me, though. I'm not on nobody's side,
fatal
though.
shooting happening here at the leasing office at Westwood Apartments. In fact, you can even see the bloodstains are still on the mat at the front entrance door of the leasing office. We found out Bess worked as a property manager here at the complex. We also learned that her husband, Ron Christopher Allen, is being accused of shooting her 7 times after finding out she had a boyfriend.
And I really wish that we could have done more to prevent this, but we have people that don't know how to deal with emotions.
This is exclusive video of Allen being taken into custody not long after police say that deadly shooting happened.
He had blood on his clothing. We assumed that came from the victim because she was definitely, There was a lot of bloodshed.
This usually quiet complex now finding itself at the center of a crime scene. Everything happening around 11:30 Thursday morning. Investigators say not long after Bess made it to the leasing office to begin her work shift, Allen showed up with a gun, shooting and killing her.
They're currently married, but my understanding is she was trying to move on. And apparently, again, somebody who do not know how to deal with emotions. And now this family has been destroyed.
After the shooting, police say Allen then went back inside the leasing office, fired more gunshots, and barricaded himself for over an hour. The police department's hostage team continued to make contact with the 52-year-old, trying to get him to come out and surrender peacefully.
Continuously called him as he continued to hang up as they called him. But he eventually told them that he was going to come out. That's exactly what he did.
We've now learned the two were married for less than 6 months. Bess, who is from Chicago, is a recent graduate of Jackson State University. Investigators say they have recovered the gun Allen used, and they're now looking to hold him accountable for his actions.
I've been doing this a long time, but it never gets easy. This lady came to work today. She never thought she'd lose her life at the hands of her husband at work today.
No other workers or residents at the complex were injured during this fatal shooting. Allen is expected to make his initial court appearance on Friday.
Okay, I'm not saying the nigga definitely is wrong for doing that, but the woman also should have never married him. You know what I'm saying? You should have never married him if you know what you was gonna do. We already know you was cheating prior. You know what I'm saying? You should have never married him if you know you was gonna do all that, bro. You know, people emotions nowadays, bro. You gotta be careful with people emotions, bro. Niggas ready to shoot you over something. Females too. Y'all gotta be careful, bro. Y'all can't just be cheating on people openly like this, bro. You know what I'm saying? If you gonna do that, bro, know who you dealing with, bro. Because niggas and bitch not gonna put up with that, bro. I'm not gonna even lie to you. They ain't gonna put up with all that, bro. So y'all gotta be careful who y'all talking to, dating and marrying, bro. Because man, people will take it to the gutter, man.